Young People Who Rock. It's our weekly series where we feature a different young person or people doing amazing things out there. Our Young People Who Rock this week are the 16-year-old Gilbert triplets, the founders of Polar Bear Nation. We have two out of the three triplets with us, Hayley and Connor Gilbert from Polar Bear Nation in Washington, D.C. right now. Thanks so much, both of you, for being here. We wish we had Emma, but she's overseas, right?
Yeah, she's in Italy right now. She's studying abroad for a semester. Okay,
well, Connor, let me start with you. You probably are already aware of the big news that happened last week out of Washington. Polar bears deemed threatened species now. What's your reaction to that?
Well, we're pleased that the polar bears now have legal protection under the Endangered Species Act. However, we're kind of feeling like that didn't go far enough, because what really happens is as the ice is melting, the polar bears are dying, and because they have no time to hunt, they have no time to live, really. They can't den, they can't breed. It's really hard without ice. And we're in fact reaching a point where 1 million square miles of ice melts every summer. And that's the size of Alaska, Texas, and Washington State combined. It's just huge.
So obviously you're very passionate about polar bears. Hayley, why did you guys take that passion and do something about it? I mean, why didn't you just like polar bears from afar? Why did you go that extra step and start Polar Bear Nation?
Well, first we had heard that the polar bears were suffering because of climate change, and we figured we needed to do something. So we figured that the best way to spread the word was to send it out through clothing, so Polar Bear Nation, and everyone can read about it.
And so where do the proceeds of those t-shirts that both of you are wearing right now go? Connor?
When we sell a shirt, we pay for, first of all, the cost of the shirt and the cost of Polar Bear Nation. And of the profits, we take 50% and donate it to fund education and research through Polar Bears International, which is an organization we've partnered with, and the other 50% is reinvested to grow the Polar Bear Nation.
And Hayley, Polar Bear Nation, Polar Bear International, has this thing called Arctic Ambassadors. You guys are trying to help that program as well. What is an Arctic Ambassador?
An Arctic Ambassador is a student that goes to the Arctic, and they can learn about all the different things that polar bears are going through. They learn about public speaking and how to just spread the word about the strife of the polar bears.
So we put your story on our website, and we had so many responses in. As you probably know, this has generated a big debate. We have one question in from Tony, who wonders to both of you, I wonder why sometimes polar bears are more important than endangered human beings. I'm sure you guys get a lot of this. Connor, what would you say to that? Why are you guys trying to help polar bears instead of perhaps other issues like poverty or helping kids study?
Well, the huge thing about climate change is that it affects everything. And what we see is that polar bears are kind of a canary in the coal mine of the Arctic. They're this majestic animal. They've survived 250,000 years in the harshest conditions that exist on Earth. And these things that we're doing on, just driving down the street, using all the electricity from coal, it's the nail in the coffin for the polar bear. And even though the polar bear numbers have come up after they've been regulated for hunting, it's just impossible for them to den, to breed, and to eat without the sea ice in the Arctic.
But Hayley, what do you say to those people who say, well, they're not threatened at all? There are scientific discrepancies out there.
Well, the fact is that they actually are endangered, they are threatened, and we need to do something about it.
Well, there is somebody else, Amy, who says that you guys are definitely doing something about it, Hayley, as you just mentioned. She wrote on our website, these kids are doing something productive and helpful to our planet instead of the millions of other kids who are doing drugs and plenty of non-productive things. Do you guys feel that you are champions, role models for your generation, for our generation? Connor?
We always feel like we can inspire other people to change, and that's one of the reasons why we started Polar Bear Nation and have gone through clothing to really spread our message. It's because we believe that when you have something that you care about, you can really make a change. And this just started after we heard about how polar bears were in danger because of the melting sea ice. We decided we wanted to do something, and look what we've done so far. We're on CNN today. It's
You
just
are. Congratulations. Young people who rock.
Yeah.
You know, Hayley, part of that comment in from Amy said that a lot of kids are doing drugs and non-productive activities. Is that a misconception? Do you know kids out there who are doing that, or do you think that our generation is in good hands?
Well, you know, there definitely are just those kids that will go out and kind of just like waste their life doing drugs, but I'm sure that there's other kids like us that are trying to do something with their life.
They are indeed. They're featured on our blog. We feature them every single week. Do you guys do everything together? Your parents must be so proud, Connor.
Yes, they're very proud of us and what we've been able to do with this.
Well, congratulations to both of you, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your story.
Thank you.
It.
And if you'd like to read more about the Gilbert triplets and Polar Bear Nation, you can do so by heading over to cnn.com/youngpeoplewhorock. Do you know young people doing amazing things out there? Well, you can nominate them at this webpage as well.